Hey guys, Zach here. Today we're going to be looking at the Blokees Transformers Defender version 4, Tyrant's Fury. These were just released. They went on sale on Blokees' US website last week, and I ordered them pretty much right away. Took a week to get here, but they're finally here. If you haven't seen my video yesterday where I looked at the Galaxy version 8 figures, I'll post a link for it up in the top left here. There were some pretty nice figures in that set, and it looks like there's some pretty nice figures in this set too. We can get an idea from the front of the box here. Before we move on though, can I just say a word about these boxes? These boxes are works of art unto themselves. We have the foil logo, we have the matte background with the figures embossed on there. I actually save these box tops along with my figures. That's how much I like them. Anyway, let's move on to the side of the box here where we can see what figures we're actually going to get. So we're going to get SG Megatron. We're going to get the Starscream vehicle, which is going to be the one that comes with our collectible coin. We get Scourge, Blitzwing, Rumble, and Grimlock in Tyrannosaurus Rex form. On the other side, we're going to get Brilliant Hound, Shockwave, Rodimus Prime in vehicle form, Brawl in vehicle form, Wheeljack in vehicle form, and Rodimus Prime in robot form. And our chances for special figures are for Rodimus Prime and Grimlock in Tyrannosaurus Rex mode. We can get either the Special Galaxy type or the Special Armor type. Now, I'll tell you what I'm hoping for. The Special Armor type of Rodimus and the Special Galaxy type of Grimlock. I'm not really sure I care too much for Wader Grimlock. Is that even canon? Anyway, let's open this up and see what special versions we get. Now, we are guaranteed one of each of the base figures, at least, so we are going to get one of each of those. And, okay, I see here that the trend that started in the Galaxy version 8 is continuing here, where we have the boxes in cellophane wrappers now. Makes it a little bit more difficult to open, but not too bad. So we'll get all these out of here. And what we're going to do, okay, save you box for later. What we're going to do is open these guys up until we find our special versions. Once we do, I will build a couple of the figures, probably one of the vehicles and one of the regular figures. And then I'll just go away for a little while and build all the rest, and then we'll look at the completed figures at the end. The variability of these desiccant packs. Hey, there we go. What is this one? This is the Special Galaxy type. That's the one that I wanted. Nice. We didn't get Wader Grimlock. Okay. Okay, let's see. Here it is. It is the regular version, I think. Yep, regular. Not bad. We still got the Galaxy type of Grimlock. Alright, so let's clear out some space here. And let's build one of these guys. We'll go with this Rodimus. Now, there were a lot of improvements to the Galaxy version 8 figures compared to the previous series, so I'm wondering if there's actually any improvements to these version 4s for the Defenders. Let's see. I may have to look at the instructions a little bit, but I should pretty much know how to build these. Let's see here. That's the legs. Okay. And there should be a foot here. There it is. These usually fly together a lot faster than the Defenders do. All right, other foot. Okay, so there's our two legs. And they are, as you can see, not symmetric. There's some detailing on the sides here, which indicate which side they belong on. All right. I actually had the Rodimus Prime figure, the Generation 1 toy back in the day. It was one of my favorites, actually. Wonder whatever happened to that. Probably got thrown out with like so many of the other of my good toys like Voltron and stuff. Okay, so let's see here. What do we do with the arms? Because there's something going on with these arms. Oh, I'm guessing that's, yeah, okay. Usually I'm a lot faster at building these. All right, so almost there. Just got to put this back piece on. And these pipes. Now, how do they actually go on? Something like this, I believe. Now, they may be on backwards, but let's see. Maybe I look on here. Nope, they look pretty much the way they're supposed to. All right, he doesn't come with a weapon other than these maybe blasters on his arm. Well, I mean, they're obviously exhaust pipes or something. Not a bad looking little guy. All right, let's build the vehicle form. Wow, that looks cool. Okay, so let's see. Wheels go on first for this one. Then it looks like this bottom piece. All right. And then what is that? This front piece here. Now the windshield. And this, the front is pretty much done. Now, it looks like, what is that showing us there? This thing goes on. How does that go on? Oh, of course we have to put it onto the, like that, and then like so. So that when you take the back off, it can lift up and blast those stinking rotten Decepticons. Okay. Now we got these. Is that the way that that's showing that? What is that? I believe so. Maybe these will go on first. Okay, that's good. And this one. Okay, now these pipes should be able to go on. That is not going on very easily, though. Oh, I'm putting them on wrong, that's why. They go on like this. There we go. Always look for the notch, the telltale notch. There we go. And as we saw before, this whole back opens up and blaster comes out. Okay. So I think I'm going to build the rest of them on my own, and I'll come back and we'll look at the finished product. And here they all are, all built, looking pretty good. We got a nice selection of figures and vehicles, Autobots, and Decepticons. So why don't we take a look at each one in turn, and we'll see which ones are hits and which ones aren't really that great. So here's Blitzwing. Now he's got a decent amount of detail on the top with some printing on the chest piece. The legs are fairly basic. The arms are also fairly basic, but he does have these accoutrements on the back that show that he is in fact a triple changer. He has parts from a tank and a plane, and of course he turns into a robot too. Now he does come with one weapon, of course, his sword. The one that I built from the Galaxy version came with a sword and a blaster, but I'm glad we got the sword for this one. Here's Wheeljack in the vehicle form. Now this vehicle can actually roll fairly well compared to the vehicles in the previous Defenders versions. And aside from a ton of detailing on the top of the figure, the hood actually does open, which is pretty nice. Not much to see inside, but it's a nice feature. Okay, we got Starscream vehicle. A lot of printing on the top, not so much on the bottom, but it's Starscream. He looks really cool. I think this kit was actually like 5 or 6 pieces, so it was the fastest one to put together. But it goes well with the jets from the previous Defender sets. Here we have Shockwave, looking pretty good. He's got some printing of the Decepticon insignias on his wrists. He's got his arm cannon here, which is connected to his back by a cord. And he's got his nice printed chest piece here. Legs are fairly basic, but looking pretty good nevertheless. Here's the brilliant version of Hound in clear green plastic, looking pretty snazzy. Not much printing on this, but it really doesn't need it. You can see the details of the Jeep front on his chest and the tiny Autobot symbol. Of course, he's got his shoulder-mounted cannon, as well as a blaster. Goes well with the other brilliant ones. Here we have Rumble, of course, one of Soundwave's cassette minions. He's got a decent amount of printing on his legs and chest. He's got this sort of array of guns on his back, and these Rumble pylons actually can move a little bit. They're sort of spring activated, so they will bounce back when you squeeze them. Here's Brawl as tank vehicle. He's decked out with a bunch of different guns, including his main cannon, which can pivot up and down, as well as the turret, which can turn left and right. We also have these guns on the back. And whatever this slot is for, maybe for an expansion port. Maybe he's going to be part of a combiner. I can't remember. Is Brawl part of a combiner? Maybe he is. Oh, there's one on the back too. We've got SG Megatron, who has quite a bit of accessories and detailing. On the legs, printing. On the chest, he's got printing. On this shield here. He's got a really cool looking cannon here with some blue clear plastic, as well as this array on the back in clear blue plastic as well. Here's Scourge. Now, I'm not as familiar with Scourge as I am with some of the other ones, but he looks pretty cool. He's got these wings on the back, which are posable a little bit. And he's got this cool lightning blasting effect out of his hand. It's the only weapon he actually comes with. Other than that, fairly a minimal figure, not a lot of printing on it, not a lot of details really. Of course, we've seen Rodimus Prime before, but here he is again, looking pretty good. As I said before, he doesn't come with any weapons except for these arm-mounted blasters here. But he's Rodimus Prime. He's always a necessary addition to any Transformers collection. Again, here's Rodimus in vehicle form. Now, he does not roll very well. These wheels are pretty stationary when you try to roll it. But he does have a feature where the trailer opens up, as I showed you before, and this gun array lifts up. Nice play feature there on a pretty nice looking vehicle. And of course, we have the Special Galaxy version of Grimlock, looking all nice and shiny, and not wearing a waiter's apron and carrying a tray of dishes. So his mouth opens up. He's got some maneuverability in the waist. Of course, the arms move, the tail can move. You can pose him a little bit, but he just looks pretty cool on his own. Well, I hope you liked this look at the fourth wave of Defender figures from Blokees. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what your favorite figure was, or which one you didn't like. And please consider subscribing, especially if you're a Blokees fan. I do feature a lot of Blokees toys in my videos, and I wouldn't want you to miss out on any future content. Until next time, see you later.